Okay, we rolling? Okay, finally on the plane. That was a super close call. We had our names called over the loudspeaker and had to run to the gate. Like, we were the last two people on the flight that just closed the doors right after we stepped on. So definitely too close for my liking. Usually I'm the kind of person who is super organized in an airport, but for whatever reason today we hung out at the Starbucks, drank a coffee and just chit-chatted for a while. So I've definitely learnt my lesson. But hey, we made it on the plane and looking forward to the next few hours to get locked in, do some work, edit some videos, and then we'll touch down in Kuala Lumpur. So see you there. Something that people always are shocked at is that I actually love airplane food. This one, maybe not so much because it's a small meal, but when you're on the long haul flights and they bring you out a tray that has a bread roll, a salad, a main and a dessert, and they give you the drinks on the side, I just love it. It's so convenient. I don't have to do any dishes. And my little tip that every single long haul flight I go on is to always ask for a second meal. Alright, we are technically in Malaysia now. The airport's right there. That's the pickup, and I just wanted to walk outside the doors so that I could technically say I stepped onto Malaysia soil. But now we're going to walk right back through those doors and go up to departures and recheck in for our next flight to Phuket.
This is Evan in his natural habitat. He likes to do weird things at the airport.
Alright, it's 6:30 in the morning. First morning in Phuket at a town called Kata beach, and surprisingly it's super dead. I've just been walking around for the last half an hour wanting to get in some exercise before it gets too hot during the day, and it's just so quiet. All the stores are closed, not even the cafes are open until 7 a.m, some of them 9 a.m. But it's actually really refreshing because I have a feeling that in 3 or 4 hours from now the town will be absolutely buzzing and I'll be craving some quiet time and some peace. And I think there is no better way to start your day than with the beautiful sounds of the ocean. Not so good for this video, but good for the soul. So this is the big Buddha, as you can see, and it's a beautiful and wholesome reminder to slow down, be present, and appreciate the little things in life. Even though it's a big tourist attraction, it doesn't feel overwhelming. It actually feels quite spiritual and quite relaxing. So if you needed a reminder to slow down for a minute and appreciate the moment, this is it.
This is somewhere where people can write down their hopes and wishes and put them before the big Buddha.
What did you write?
To find inner peace, happiness and freedom.
I've just spent the day locked in and working, so it is so refreshing to come down to the beach and see some nature. We were actually here last night and the sunset was unbelievable. And we're here tonight and there are storms approaching all around us. So you win some, you lose some. Even though it's about to rain and I'm feeling pretty cool and refreshed in the water, I'm actually really struggling with the heat over here in Thailand. It's the kind of weather where you step outside and you'll just be drenched in sweat within 5 minutes. I've actually got some bumps coming up on my hand that are a reaction to the heat. I would say it's going to get better when we get to Japan, but it's supposed to be 35 degrees there. The other thing I'm actually really struggling with is not having a proper office setup, and as privileged as this sounds, not having a standing desk, because I get really bad shoulder and neck pain after sitting down for hours, and what I've done is a makeshift setup in the hotel room, but it really has just given me a lot of pain sitting down for hours on end. So the good thing is that massages are affordable in this part of the world, so I can get it fixed up. But definitely need to find some sort of solution, because that is not going to be sustainable as we move around. Of course, though, I am still extremely grateful for having the opportunity to work and travel at the same time. So in the grand scheme of things, it's quite a minor issue.
Yay, 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 yay!
Well, here with our special guest, the alligator. I don't know what to do. Kate asked me to interview the alligator, and I literally have no idea what to do because I think it's just stupid. But here we are. So, Mr. Alligator, what flavour ice cream do you like? This is Phuket Old Town, and as you can see, there are people everywhere, and it's so chaotic. I just had a kid trip over my feet. And honestly, this feeling is how I've felt for the last few days, just that chaos and overwhelm, due to all of the micro decisions we have to make every day when on the road. Yes, it's beautiful, and yes, there's lots of highlights, but in reality, it's so many little decisions that just take a toll. Where are you going to sleep when you arrive at the next city? Which flight are you going to get? Where should I rent the scooter from? Where am I going to get my next meal? Is this water drinkable? There's just so many questions that when you're at home and your comfort zone, you don't have to deal with, and combined with the heat in Thailand, it is pretty exhausting, but everything is going pretty well. There's just chaos here, it's very different, but I'm glad to be in a more quiet spot, so we're going to head back there now. Alright, it is 12:36 a.m. I'm sitting here on the floor in Bangkok airport. I'm absolutely exhausted and still have another 2.5 hours to stay up before the next flight, which goes to Tokyo. So what I'd love to do is to share a few insights from the week. So I'm going to share 2 highlights, 2 lowlights, and 2 learnings. I'll start with the highlights. So highlight number 1 is we had our biggest revenue day ever for Art of Mondays, and ironically it was the day that I was flying from, oh my god, I'm so tired, from, where was I? From Lombok to Thailand, and also Jai had a boat from Lombok to Bali and then was flying to Perth. So the one day that we smashed all of our ceilings was the one day that neither of us could be online to see any of it happen, and I arrived in Phuket and turned on my phone and got all the notifications, and it was such an unbelievable feeling because we've put in so much hard work this year, and often it did feel like pushing a rock up the hill, but I think in the back of our minds we knew that it was only a matter of time till we got to an inflection point. Highlight number 2 was the on a really personal level, the amazing feedback I got on my first YouTube video. Of course, it's quite scary to put something like that out in the world, less so the fear of what strangers might think, but more so the fear of what people I know will think, and that judgment. So overcoming that was a hurdle, but the feedback has been overwhelmingly encouraging and positive. So thank you so much to everyone who's checked it out and who's sent me messages of appreciation and encouragement. My 2 lowlights. Number 1 was really a sad one, honestly, is that my cat passed away during the week, and I got a call from my mum, and it was hard because the first half of the call, actually the whole call, yes, it was a bit of a shock, but I had to stay really strong for her because I knew how much she was hurting, and I just wanted to make sure that she was okay and that she had the support she needed, which meant that I couldn't really feel the emotions I needed to at the time. But for anyone that met little Tootie, he was a menace, and we loved him, and he lived to 20 years old, which is amazing for a cat. So certainly a life well lived. So I feel like it's hard to go on from that, but another thing that I've been struggling with, another low light, is just the heat in Thailand. I've been getting headaches and having skin reactions as well, just to the heat and the humidity. So I've tried to spend a lot of the hottest part of the day indoors working, and then going out either in the morning or in the late afternoon when things cool down.
And then my 2 learnings, one business, one personal. So from the business side of things, learning number 1 is to hit things with a simple stick. This was a concept that Austin, one of our Art of Mondays members, brought up a few months ago, and ever since he mentioned it, it's just been so relevant in so many instances. And it comes from Steve Jobs' approach to building everything to do with Apple. It is, how can I make this thing as simple as possible? So rather than what can I add, it's what can I remove. And learning number 2, which is a much more personal one, I just recognize how important it is for me to fill up my own cup, especially the first thing in the morning before I do anything related to work or business or other people, because I think on those days that I feel scattered or distracted or unproductive or grumpy or angry, those are the days where I haven't looked after myself in the morning. I haven't gone for a run, or I haven't taken time to journal or meditate. So on those days where it feels like there's so much going on, those are probably the days that I need to take more time for myself to feel grounded. And there's a quote that's been said to me a few times, I think probably by Jai, and that is, on days where you don't have 10 minutes to meditate, that's when you should meditate for an hour. So that's something that I'm going to be trying to do more often moving forward, and I hope that if you connect with that, that's something you can do as well. Next week I'll be sharing some more highs, lows and learnings, and I'm going to try to make it a regular thing. So if you like them, then share some feedback in the comments, and feel free to share your highs and your lows and your learnings of the week as well. I'm going to try and get some sleep on the floor before the flight, so thanks for watching, and I'll chat to you soon. And we'll see you in Japan.